Hello and welcome. I missed a couple of more weeks than I thought I would because once I came home from my cruise, I got really ill. So I'm so happy to be back with you, and I hope you are well and all is going well with you and your loved ones. Well, it's the time of year during which we think about the year that has passed as we face the holidays ahead. I especially like Thanksgiving not only was I born on Thanksgiving Day, but as for quite a while, it was not as commercialized as other holidays, and we could focus on being grateful for the blessings as well as challenges that we receive throughout the year. Now, of course, we have Black Friday sales, football, and traveling across the globe, which have impacted the Thanksgiving holiday. But at the heart of it is a time to reflect and to be thankful. Many might think that they have nothing for which to be grateful, but especially now as we have gone through COVID and have witnessed the further divisions within our nation and growing apprehension about inflation and crime, we can indeed still find things in our lives for which we are thankful. However, my intention for today is to go over a brief history of Thanksgiving as we know it. This video may be a little longer than is usual, but not much more. Many people think that the Puritans or Pilgrims were the first colonists to arrive in what was referred to as the New World. This is not so. In fact, there had been a history of settlement and colonization well before the Puritans arrived. Many European nations had already created settlements in the Americas. In fact, St. Augustine, Florida, still emphasizes this in their tourist literature, trying to entice tourists to come to what they call and refer to as the oldest continually inhabited European settlement within the United States. In 1493, the Spanish and Portuguese had already agreed to the line of demarcation, which would divide the Spanish territories from the Portuguese territories. Hence why Portugal has had Brazil and the Spanish everything west of the line of demarcation. In fact, the English had already created settlements within North America, both successful and unsuccessful, including one of history's mysteries, the colony of Roanoke. Prior to the arrival of the Puritans, the Virginia colony had even established the House of Burgesses in 1619, bringing representative colonial government to Virginia prior to the arrival of the Puritans in 1620. So, what made the Puritans noteworthy to the point of their Thanksgiving establishing the precedent that we still celebrate today? It was a series of circumstances and events. The Puritans were known as separatists in England. Although Protestantism, in the form of the Church of England, also referred to as the Anglican Church, was the officially recognized religion in England and the colonies, there were distinct divisions within the Protestant faith. The Puritans were part of the group that believed there was corruption within the Church of England and wanted to return to a purer belief and practice, hence the term Puritan. And so they wanted to separate themselves from the church, hence the term separatists. Because they wanted to separate themselves from the official church, they were often persecuted. And the group we know as the Pilgrims, who arrived at Plymouth Rock, had actually fled to the Netherlands before going to America. They wanted to establish themselves in the colonies in order to have the freedom to practice their religion. But be clear, they did not believe in the freedom of religion. They believed in the freedom to practice their religion. They would persecute and exile future colonists who did not agree with their beliefs and practices, notably the Quakers, and such persons as Anne Hutchinson. But they did want the freedom to practice their Puritan beliefs. Now, freedom of religion as we know it did develop during the colonial era, but not with the Puritans. They wanted the freedom to practice their religion. They were finally on their way to America on the Mayflower, but they were supposed to arrive in Virginia. Due to a storm and other factors, they actually ended up off the coast of what is now Massachusetts in 1620. Again, they were supposed to go to the Virginia colony, not north, where they ended up. Having sailed north and harboring off of Massachusetts, they agreed to and signed the Mayflower Compact, which was the first written constitution of its type in English America. It is important to note that the first point they made in the Mayflower Compact was that they were loyal subjects to the king. This is essential, as they did not go where they were supposed to go. The king could have sent military after them. They violated the terms of their charters and agreements. They were in New England, not Virginia, so they had to establish their loyalty. Another extremely important point was that they would make fair and just laws under God. So they started establishing their colony. Unlike, unlike most settlers to Virginia, this group had many family units with them instead of being primarily composed of single men. However, like those settlers in Virginia, the Puritans struggled to establish their settlements. About half of the first settlement, 50%, died during the first winter. They struggled to survive and only did so due to the help of the natives in the area who had been watching them ever since their arrival. The first Thanksgiving in 1621 was a celebration of their first successful harvest after the establishment of their settlements. However, Thanksgiving was not a national holiday until President Lincoln made his 1864 Thanksgiving proclamation. He identified a national day of Thanksgiving after the battles at Gettysburg, but then a year later proclaimed a national and ongoing holiday. In the midst of the crisis blood horror of the Civil War, Lincoln recognized that there were still many things for which to be thankful, and he was looking ahead to the end of the war when the nation would be reunited and at peace. This excerpt is from his proclamation, and I found it on the UCSB website. Now, therefore, I, Abraham Lincoln, President of the United States, do hereby appoint and set apart the last Thursday in November next as a day which I desire to be observed by all my fellow citizens, wherever they may then be, as a day of thanksgiving and praise to Almighty God, the beneficent creator and ruler of the universe. And I do further recommend to my fellow citizens aforesaid that on that occasion they do reverently humble themselves in the dust and from thence offer up penitent and fervent prayers and supplications to the great disposer of events for a return of the inestimable blessings of peace, union, and harmony throughout the land, which it has pleased him to assign as a dwelling place for ourselves and for our posterity throughout all generations. And so we still give thanks for blessings as well as challenges, as it is through the challenges that we learn our life lessons and grow as individuals. It is time to thank those who have helped us and have brought joy and love to us. It is also time to thank God for the many blessings he bestows upon us. The following is from Psalm 95, 1 through 7. Come, let us sing for joy to the Lord. Let us shout aloud to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before him with thanksgiving and extol him with music and song. For the Lord is the great God, the great King above all gods. In his hand are the depths of the earth, and the mountain peaks belong to him. The sea is his, for he made it, and his hands formed the dry land. Come, let us bow down in worship. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker, for he is our God, and we are the people of his pasture, the flock under his care. As we move towards Thanksgiving, I hope we all think upon the things in our lives for which we are grateful and to pray for strength and guidance for the difficulties and challenges that we face. I pray for many blessings in your life this Thanksgiving season. Thank you.